It's been brought to my attention that people are unaware Ian Somerhalder has a history of being, shall we say, weird as hell. I saw a discussion of people not liking him because he can be kind of douchey, and once he said he didn't want to do a meet and greet with fans, justifying it with people are only there to get bragging rights with proof, which I don't think is entirely wrong, and that starts to bleed into fans feeling entitled to a celebrity's time. But on the other hand, it's like, maybe if the year was 2010, that statement would hold more weight, and there's just no way to say, you guys just want the bragging rights of meeting me, without it sounding like your head is up your own ass. It's pretty often that I see TikToks of him or like him and Paul Wesley, and they get millions of views and thousands of comments of people being such fans, and it baffles me because are we not all aware? I thought one of these scandals at least was pretty big at the time. Why am I the only one who still gives a shit? Let's start with an article published by Cosmopolitan. Ian Somerhalder says he learned about sex from spying on his brother.
Let's take a look.
Ian Somerhalder from Vampire Diaries has opened up about his sex life in a new interview with Andy Cohen, admitting to learning about intercourse from spying on his brother. Okay. Fans have found the admission fairly uncomfortable. Yeah. Tweeting that it's information they really don't care to be knowing. People are like, bro, can you shut the f up? We don't need to know that. Vampire Diaries actor Ian Somerhalder has found himself at the center of controversy after opening up about his sexual experiences as a teenager on Sirius XM's Radio Andy this week. The star shared that he was 13 when he had sex for the first time. Before talking about how he learned about sex, 13 is... I had an older brother. My brother was 7 years older than me, so he taught me a lot, and he was quite a Casanova. And he used to have girls in his bedroom all the time. What's 13 plus 7? 20. Pretty people don't do math. I mean, like, how long were you doing this, though? Did you start when you were, like, 11? I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's weird regardless. And what I did was I went in the bottom corner of his window and I pinched the Venetian blinds down so I had a clear view. And then when he'd have girls over, I would run outside and I would watch, and I learned a lot. Okay. The details became more graphic. By the way, Louisiana gets cold in the wintertime. It's freezing. So I would go outside, I'd put on all my stuff. My mom would think I was going out to play with the dogs, so I would get some hot chocolate, put on all my clothes, get my mittens up, go outside. We do what we have to do. While Ian and Andy laughed the story off as doing what you have to do, of course they did, listeners have brought up questions over privacy and safeguarding into it, adding that it's a violation towards his older brother and the women. Comments ranged from gross and disgusting to I'm learning a lot about Ian Somerhalder's sex life that I really don't care to be knowing. And you know what? Neither do I. But if I have to be aware of this stuff, so do you. I am not the suffer in silence type. Bitch, you're gonna suffer with me. Some people will say, I already know that, oh, he was just a young boy. He didn't know any better. I'm gonna stop you right there. I was also 13 once, with older siblings who I'm sure were sexually active from a young age, and I somehow managed not to watch them get it on. As a matter of fact, the temptation was never even there. I promise you that. The thought never even crossed my mind. Not only is it weird because the girls in question didn't consent to being watched by some little freak, but neither did the brother. And I'm sure the brother would be like, oh, it's okay, but like... And also, why do you want to watch your sibling have sex? Let's sit with that for a second. Then there's the age difference between Ian and Nina Dobrev, who dated while they worked on the Vampire Diaries together. Let's see. If it became official in 2010, Nina Dobrev was 21. He was 31 going on 32. All right, okay. Let's take it a step further. He claims they met when she was 19 and refers to her as a kid, which is interesting because you pursued that kid, so he would have been 29. Isn't this literally what All Too Well was written about, dude? Then there's the throwing out his wife's birth control pills because he decided he wanted a baby. E! News wrote, Somerhalder then tells a story of how they met up with two of their best friends in Barcelona and they decided they wanted to all have children at the same time. And it was just time, Somerhalder said. But unbeknownst to poor Nikki, she didn't realize that I was going to go in her purse and take out her birth control and pop them. By the way, it was at the beginning of the pack, so I had to pop all those suckers out. There was like 25 of them. Somerhalder then says there's a 6-minute video where Reed is freaking out about it. I'm only, pause from the script for a second. I'm only just now thinking this as I'm reading it out for the third time. Your wife is freaking out because, in a way, you're kind of taking her autonomy away and you just record it like it's funny. I mean, sure. After the interview, Somerhalder received major backlash for his actions, but Reed is now responding to critics on Twitter. Women's rights matter, so please don't use false narratives to highlight issues that are truly important, Reed tweeted before following up with, we should be talking about these things, but using a funny interview between married people and twisting it to perpetuate gossip is irresponsible. I cannot stand when women do this. It's not funny that your husband forcibly took your birth control from you and then recorded it because he clearly thought it was funny while you were panicking. What is there to twist? That is literally the story that you were telling. Word for word, bar for bar. Whatever. I cannot stand the gaslighting that follows. Nikki Reed, of course, ended up releasing a statement because they got hella backlash for this, defending him and clarifying that they wanted to have a baby together and it was a mutual decision. But let me be so clear here. Going out with friends and saying you all want to have a child at the same time does not directly translate to we're starting right now. Regardless of what Nikki Reed says, if she wanted to start immediately, getting rid of the birth control would have been an agreed upon decision. It would not have been her husband snooping through her bag and throwing them out while she, according to the husband in question, freaks out. If it's not a red flag, if it's not an alarming act, why was she freaking out? If there was nothing wrong with what he did, why was she freaking out about it? And then there's just vibes of misogyny I've gotten from him on 2 specific separate occasions. I'm sure there's more because there's always more, but these are the ones I'm aware of.
You had to pick one superhero to save the world. Who would it be, and who would it definitely not be?
Go with
Jennifer Lawrence.
Save the world.
Katniss Everdeen.
He just has an arrow. Iron Man has
That's all she needs is an
and she has arrow and boobs, and that's
all
it.
she needs is an
Iron
arrow.
Man
All a
has
woman needs.
What about a
Tell me you only see women as sexual objects without telling me you only see women as sexual objects. Okay, I sat through 40 minutes of a Comic-Con panel that I thought included this, but it didn't, so just know there's a moment.
What are the differences between them? How do you transform yourself from one to the other?
She becomes a raging bitch one day.
Sorry, what was that?
Where I think Nina Dobrev or someone is asked what it's like to be on set on the days when she was acting for Catherine, and Ian said something to the tune of, oh, well, you know she was playing Catherine when she's acting like a raging bitch 1 second, and I just don't like that. Men referring to women as bitches is violence. It makes me uncomfortable. It's inherently misogynistic, whether that pisses you off or not. So I just wanted to put it out there, hey, you shouldn't dislike Ian Somerhalder because you think he can be the stereotypical famous guy who thinks he's hot. I mean, you can, but isn't that expected from celebrities by now? I also celebrities are still people, and you're going to catch them on a bad day sometimes. And I just hate the idea that they're always supposed to be receptive to fans. That's so dehumanizing. You're not entitled to that. I'm not saying he isn't that guy with a capital ick, but you just don't know that based off of one interaction. But you should definitely consider the actual really unsavory history. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, I'm getting close to being able to monetize, so that means a lot to me. You can follow my Tumblr, Upscrolled, and Instagram here and message me if there's ever a specific topic you'd like me to talk about, and I'll see what I can do. Be sure to like the video, subscribe so you can see more, and share with people to bring them into the circle of gossip. And let me know your thoughts down below. Until next time.